How's it going, YouTube? Right, welcome to the first episode of the new van build. I think what we're going to do today is have a look around the van and then we'll go through the full spec of what I'm going to do to it, outside, inside, the full camper conversion, and we'll just talk about some of the specs and things that I'm going to use and the colour schemes and things like that. Right, so what I've bought is a 2019 Peugeot Boxer. I think it's a 335 Pro or something like that. It's an L3 H2 long wheelbase, a 6-metre one. It's a 2-litre diesel version. I was originally looking at Volkswagen Crafters, obviously because of this one. I like the Volkswagens, but I changed my mind and I decided to get one of these. You've got the Peugeot Boxer, the Citroen Relay and the Fiat Ducato. They're all kind of the same thing. But the reason I went for this one is mainly because you get a lot more for your money, and the sides of the van, it's more of a boxy shape. They're straight up and down, whereas the Crafter kind of go in a little bit at the top. So I thought for a camper conversion, this is probably better for what I wanted. This particular one's done 100,000 miles now, so it's not super high mileage or anything like that. It's not super low either, but what I did was I bought the best possible van I could afford, and I think I did well out of it as well. The main thing being is it's silver. This was kind of white van money, whereas a lot of them in different colours, the price starts rocketing. Looking around the van, the general condition of it is absolutely fantastic. It's a nice straight van. There's no dents or anything in it anywhere. The only marks we've really got is there's a bit of a scratch on this back door there. There was a van lock on the back. We'll have to do something with that later. But apart from that, looking all down the sides of the van and everything like that, it's perfectly straight and in good condition. On this mirror case, there's a little bit broken here. It's got a cable tie holding it together, but that's nothing. We can sort that one out. Everything else from the outside looks fine. Right, so what am I doing with the outside of this van? What's it going to look like on the outside? I want to do the same sort of styling as this one. What I've done with this one is this is kind of an overland style. Big wheels, off-roady looking. It's obviously not an off-road vehicle, but I just like the look of this one. And we can see on the front here, I've got bull bar, I've got some lights on the front and stuff like that. This is the sort of thing we want to go for on that one. So what my intention is with this is wheels, same sort of styling as that. I want to do this bottom section black, same sort of styling as that. I want to put some sort of design on it. I think for now what we'll do is this section here across there where the windows are going, I want all that black. I'll put a couple of little decals on it for now just to give it something, just so it looks like a camper, and then we'll do something proper later on. I think what I might do is put a bull bar on the front again, because I want some nice big beefy spotlights on the front there. Up at the top, I think what I'm going to do is make a nice roof rack. I'm not paying like £6,000 or £7,000 for one of those really posh ones, but we are going to make something that's probably going to look just as good, hopefully. And what I want it to do is come straight along, because it needs to mount the solar on top. That's one of the other things. One of the stipulations of this is I want it to have a lot of solar on the top. So the roof rack will be mounting the solar. I want the roof rack to come across the front and curve round and then go across, and then we're going to have a row of spotlights across the top as well there to really make this look nice and mean and off-roady. And then what we'll do is we'll have some more spotlights around the edge and the back so we can light up all the area outside the van. On the sides here, I'm going to have one window there. I think what we're going to go for is the motorhome style windows, because rather than the bonded sliding windows, I'd rather have one that properly opens up. But what I do want to go for is I want to go for some flush fitting ones. I've seen a few. There's one on, I think it's Jackson's Leisure, and then another one, I think it's Cheshire Windows or something like that. They do a really flush fitting window, so I'm going to decide where to get those from later. I want one there. I think I'm going to put two there. So on the back of the van there'll be two windows. I'm not putting one on the side there. We'll see why when we go inside. What I do want on the back is the ladder going up and the spare wheel. We'll have a fifth wheel on the back because I think I like the look of that, just to finish off the overlander kind of look. And the same down this side. We'll have one window at the front, just here, opposite the one on the other side. This back panel, we're not going to have a window there, but this is all going to be black. Somewhere near the back of the van, I want to put a little antenna on there as well for the 4G, because I want Wi-Fi in this van. And that's about it for the outside of the van, so it's kind of going to be this kind of style. So let's have a look in the cab now, shall we? Right, looking in the cab, what we can see is the condition's pretty decent actually. It just needs a really good clean in here. All I've done is I've just drove this home and then I've left it. The whole thing needs a good clean. What I'm going to do in here is I'm going to fit those Remis blinds on the sides and the front. I want the proper fitted blinds. I think they just look a lot more professional. They're really not cheap at all, but that's what I want in this van, just to make it a lot easier. Because on that one, you've got to set up all the curtains and everything else. You've got the little magnety bits. I want this one to be more of a factory professional build. I will at some point get some sort of little rear view camera screen on there. I have got a few, so I'll probably fit one of those. I don't want to fit that until I've got these blinds fitted, because the blinds are going to close up there, so I need to know where that can go. I've got a new stereo coming over the next few days. What I'm going to do, this one's got sat-nav on it, but I'm going to rip it out anyway, because I want one with a bigger screen, like a 10-inch screen. I was going to fit the Atoto that I took out of that the other week, but I've got another one to try, so what I'll do is I'll try this other one first. The condition of the dashboard's pretty decent, to be fair, so that's more or less going to stay as it is. We'll posh it up a little bit. Right, the seats, I've not 100% made up my mind yet. I have 100% made up my mind about this double seat coming out, because I want a single seat there, and I'm going to have them both swivel, so we can walk through the middle into the back. But I've not 100% decided on what I'm changing them for. I don't know whether to get a proper single passenger seat to fit here. They're not cheap. A similar sort of money of what I've seen on eBay is you can get like Range Rover seats, the leather ones with the arm and the heated seats and things like that. So I might actually put two single seats out of another vehicle in here. I haven't decided yet. Or to get another one of those and get them recovered. But I'm definitely going two single seats and both swivels. On the floor, I've got a few little repairs that I need to do. I'll have a look at those. And I think down here as well, there's got a little hole in the floor. That's a common thing on these vans. For some reason, they all seem to have that. So I'm going to fix that. I'll put a little plate over it, and then I'll get a fitted carpet to cover all of this up. And that's probably about it for the cab. Right, so if we have a look inside, as you can see for now, it's all ply lined. What we need to do first actually, let's take this bulkhead out and get a bit of light in here so we can see properly. This is just bolted in with these little 10mm bolts here. So what I'll do is I'll get an impact wrench and let's get those out. 13mm for this one down at the bottom. And these ones here, they're a T40 Torx bit. Right, there we are, bulkheads out. I've got one of the local scrap guys coming to pick that up. Let's have a look inside at the layout of this thing and see what I'm going to do. Right, I'm going to go for a bit of a cookie cutter layout in here. It's the old trusted one. So what we're looking at is where that plank is there. I've marked it out. As you can see here, look, I've done some drawing. We'll go through this in a second. So where that plank's laid out, there and backwards, that's going to be a double bed. The double bed is running side to side. Standard UK double bed, so it's going to be 135 centimetres across, and I'm going to look for 190 centimetres widthways, or length, whichever way you want to look at it. Once we get this ply off, you'll see a bit more about what I mean. But what we're going to do is these panels will be recessed back. From this face here to this panel there, I've got a good 60 or 70 mil. So what I'll do is there's going to be some panels there at the back. They're going to be recessed in. I'm not going to have the big insulation board on those panels. We're just going to have some like Dodo insulation or something like that. I'll double it up because I think it's like 8 mil thick or something like that. So I'll double it up so we'll have a 16 mil thick insulation just on those panels there. They can be recessed in, one there and one there, and then that'll give us the decent width what we need to make a bed. As part of that, that's going to be a bit of a feature, because one of the things I want to do in this van throughout is I want to be quite a dark colour scheme on everything. And what I do is I paint it with light. So the whole van will be brightened up with light rather than colour from the panels. We'll talk about that in a second as well. The panels are going to have a surround on them that comes out a little bit more, and then that'll be lit from behind. So they'll be lit inside from the panels. And then these panels will make them a bit of a feature. What I would like to do, I haven't found any yet, but what I would like to do is cover the panel, cover it in like a topo design, you know, with the little circles and everything on the topography. Or something else. I've got a few ideas, but that'll be backlit from the surround. So this back bit will be the double bed there. Moving on here, we're going to have a shower unit there. So I want a full height toilet and shower in it. Timber door on the front, shower fittings inside. They're going to be all black fittings. I want to, like I said, I want to keep it like a darkish theme. Over this side will be the kitchen units, going halfway out the door. About halfway across the door there will be the kitchen units going to the bed bulkhead there. So what they'll do is they'll come about halfway. I want to have a step there with a little electric step that comes out, and then we can step up into this little area here. Right, this seating area, I haven't decided 100% what to do yet. There's a few different options what we can do. We're obviously having 2 single seats there, swivel. What I'm thinking about doing is lifting this area up to the same height. So if we have a little curved area that goes around there, and then that's all backlit from underneath, with either a bench seat that goes that way, or a bench seat that goes that way off of the shower. So what it'd be is that chair span around. So it would either be a bench seat that way, facing this way with a table there in between, or the bench seat going that way with a table that comes across, one of those ones that you can turn and spin and it's on the little arm and you can put it wherever you want. I am kind of thinking the bench seat that way, but what I might do is do it so the cushions are in like a bit of an L shape and they go around the corner. Rather than just being a bench there, it's going to be a bit like there, there, and then going round the corner. So it'll be all upholstered round like a little corner unit there. I am thinking that mainly because it's a bit more relaxing. If I've got just chairs sat there nice and upright, it's not very put your feet up and relax kind of area, which is what I'd like it to be. I'd like that area around down there to be the comfy area to relax. And if we've got a bench seat going across there, you can put your feet up and relax a little bit better, especially when that seat's span around. Here marked on the wall, as you can see there, I've got a 900 by 500 window. I've kind of marked it out roughly where it'll go. None of these lines on the walls and everything are 100% exact or even straight, but it's giving me kind of a little bit of a clue, because this 900 by 500 is the hole that I've got to cut out, but then it's got the blind that goes over, which overhangs a good 30 mil. I've got 50 mil there. What it will do though is it'll look odd, because this side here is a big area. But what we can do to counterbalance that, same again, what I want to do here is this panel here be recessed, so it won't be level with this, it'll be slightly behind this, it'll be a recessed panel. Same again, either that topography design or we're going to do something else, which I've got a few ideas on. Then it'll be recessed, and then there'll be a cover panel over the top that sticks out a bit more all the way around. This one can have some shelves in it, which will even up this gap on both sides. And then it'll be backlit from underneath all the way around, so it's lighting up all that area. So this panel here will be lit from the lights underneath, so we'll be painting it with light. This wall here will be plain grey, the same as all the other units and everything. What I want to do is get the lightweight ply grey panels, so all the cupboards there will be made out of lightweight ply. All these panels, they'll all be the grey lightweight ply. Even these units here, what I've got there, look, is a 1350 by 600 unit that I'll build there. That's worktop size, but what I want to do is I don't want none of these sharp corners. I want to round all the corners off. The same as this one as well, I want to round the corners. I don't want no sharp corners anywhere. All the lightweight ply will be grey, so there'll be cupboards there, shower unit there, cupboards up there, over this side, above the kitchen. We'll have cupboards there. What I might do is bring them over a little bit, just so we've got a bit more cupboard space. It's already overhanging at the bottom, so there's no reason why it can't overhang at the top. And then what that does is it saves me having to tidy this up properly. What I can do is bring the cupboards in front of it a little bit to probably here, and then that'll just leave me this area here to tidy up. But what I can do with that is I can make something with aluminium that goes round, and then I can cover it with something. But what I want to do is fit some electrics in there, so we've got some touchscreen panels and things like that for the electrics. Round in the back, I want cupboards along both sides. What I might do is pick which one I want to be the head side, and I might make the cupboards slightly higher. I don't know yet. I might just make them both the same height and we'll manage. On the roof, I want a max air fan there, so we can suck in and out from the front end. At the back end, I don't want the fan. I just want this skylight there. We'll get one of those max air skylights. I think it's a Sky Max it's called. I'll get one of those on order. So we'll put that there. So there'll be cupboards either side and the skylight there. This front, I'm going to keep it as it is. Obviously trim it and tidy it all up, but I want that little cubby hole to put stuff in. What I will do though is I will light it up. The roof, I'm not 100% decided on yet, but what I do want to do is I want to do it in kind of a darkish colour. At the top of the cupboards, I want some little plinths coming out the top with some lights coming out from behind them, so they're lighting up the roof that way. The same on the cupboards on all around the edges. I want lights coming out the top of the cupboards that you can't see. I like lights that you can't see. I just like to see the light they produce, not actually the light. And what I'd like to do is all the way down the centre of the van, I'd like some sort of feature. What I would have liked to have done, but I can't do it because the voltage is not right, the 48 volts, is I wanted to fit the Nanoleaf Elements hexagon lights, you know, the wood finish ones, and I could have had a pattern going all the way up the roof there, and that would have looked nice. But they're 48 volts and I'm not messing around, so I need to think of something different. What I don't want is any funny coloured lights in here. Any lights that we do have will be like a normal warm light coming out and lighting up the panels. Units and worktop, as I said, they're going to be grey units, but the worktop, I want it to either be bamboo or oak. Not decided yet, but I want it to be that type of wood. Depending on the type of wood I choose, then that'll depend on the type of wood I use everywhere else. Because obviously these top cupboards, they're going to be grey, but the doors, I want to do something different with them. Not decided yet exactly, but I might add a little bit of colour to the van and do the doors in either like a dark turquoise colour over the grey, or I'll do them the same colour or the same type of wood as the worktop. So there'll be a grey unit with like a bamboo door. And what I might do is the iron-on edging that you put around the edge, I might do that in the turquoise, just to add a little bit of colour. Not decided yet at all. I could do with a little bit of help with something, if anybody knows. The lightweight panels, you know, the Moreland panels, they're really super expensive. But what I have noticed is whenever you want any full panels from anywhere, nobody sells them for delivery. They're always pick-up only. If anybody knows where you can get them delivered, the full-size 15mm lightweight ply panels in grey, let me know below of anybody that does actually deliver those. Right, another major thing with this van is I want it to be completely gasless. I want it to be fully electric. So like I said earlier, I want as much solar as I can on the roof. I'm looking at least 500 watts. Any cooking, I don't want an oven in here or anything like that, but I do want a hob. I'll have an induction hob on it. Hot water for the shower, that is probably going to be a diesel heater. I haven't decided which type yet and where to put it exactly, because obviously if I put a bench seat there, I've got some space there that I could put the water heater or the battery, just to share a bit of weight. But then I've got all the space at the back where the electrics and everything else is going to go. Whilst we're on the subject of the electrics, I want at least a 2 kilowatt inverter, probably a 3. I want a decent sized battery, probably one of those 500 amp hour Fogstars or something like that. You know, the ones you need to sell a kidney for to buy. Because I want this to be as much off the grid as I could possibly be. I'm not particularly a campsite person. I like it to be off the grid. So I want to be able to comfortably live for a few weeks without plugging in anywhere. I've got a bit of a plan for the electrics. I think I'm going to put them this side. But what I want to do is, anybody remember Max Power in the early 2000s with all the car stereo systems and things like that? I want to do an install a little bit like that. I've done those years ago in the cars. I want everything tidy on a panel, can't see any wires, all the wires will be tucked away, it'll be behind a glass door and then all lit up from the side, so it'll look nice and posh. So when we're opening the back, you'll see all the electrics there, but it'll be all lit up and all cable tugged. If you've spent a fortune on all that electrical stuff, you might as well at least make a feature of it, haven't you? What I might do in the garage as well is set up some linear sliding rails and have 2 tracks that pull out, just in case I want bikes in the back. Don't know yet, I'll decide on that later, but I might do that. I want underslung tanks. and we'll get that so I've got plenty of water for the shower. But what I want to do is make the discharge electric and things like that, and have a button on the dashboard so when we part over a drain we can electrically drop the waste water, just to make everything a bit more professional. And that's probably about it for the spec, to be honest. I'm not sure if I've missed anything, but that's the sort of direction that we're going to go in. So I think the next thing I need to do with this van is we need to get all these ply off, get the ply up off the floor, and I need to completely clean all this van out. I'll take that double seat out as well, and I'll get all that cleaned up. We'll clean the outside of the van. I've got some bits down here to make a start on the inside of the van. We've got some Dodo sound deadening. I've got some stickers, and we've got some wrap so we can do the outsides. So I think in the next episode we're going to start getting stuck into this, ripping this to bits and getting it all cleaned, and start something on the outside, because there's a few bits I need to do before we fit the windows. Comment below if there's any questions you've got or suggestions you've got, especially on the lightweight ply. And what I'm going to do during this series as well is I'm going to give away a few bits on random videos. So on this next video, I think what I'll do is I'll do a bit of a giveaway just to celebrate the start of it. I didn't want to do it on this one because I wanted the comments to be around what people think of this build, how I'm going to do it, the colour schemes I've chose, and if they've got any questions. So subscribe if you want to see this build. I'm not going to rush it, so it is going to take a while. Money holds you back as well, obviously, because some of these parts really aren't cheap. And I don't really want to compromise on a lot of the parts I'm putting in here. Like the video if you liked it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.